Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that we're going to hit this morning to start the week off right is coming right out of Governor Kathy Hochul's backyard. The gun control capital of the world is going to get a whole lot more guns real soon because real world is setting up on real lives of people, and it's kind of conflicting with their gun control narrative. Everything will be linked into the description box below. This has got brewing, it's got bodegas, it's got freedom. You're going to love every second. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. All right, my brothers and sisters, we are about to dive into bodegas in New York City, who are going to get a whole lot more guns because of the Bruen decision, because let's just face it, the state isn't cutting the mustard on stopping crime. Real life of real people influencing pie-in-the-sky policy decisions. Check this out. United Bodegas of America announces initiative to arm workers in New York City shops. I can almost hear the gun control screams. Now, this is important because this came out December 3rd, so yesterday. But let me show you what's the catalyst, because this speaks to something larger than just some bodegas are getting guns. This speaks to a broad underpinning of why people are growing the Second Amendment at an unprecedented rate in different demographic buckets than we've ever seen before. Check this out. New York. The United Bodegas of America announced Sunday a controversial plan to arm its workers so they can protect themselves from criminals. Well, that's weird. Police aren't doing it, so people are taking the responsibility of their own, and they have a Second Amendment, and they're jumping to it. This is the underlying theme. Let's continue. CBS New York spoke to concerned community members and to bodega employees who insisted it's necessary. Quote, "Sometimes I do late nights, and I do not feel safe at all. Feeling safe, that personal experience is what's driving this entire thing." Bodega worker Nasser said, Nasser, who works at a bodega on 8th Avenue and 142nd Street, said he has been threatened too many times to count, so he is in support of the initiative to seek gun licenses for workers. When the policy consequences actually hit real people, they start to make decisions, which in this case would be the Second Amendment-based decisions. And a large group like the United Bodega Workers of America is putting out programs to arm their people. The priority of safety is overtaking the priority of policy virtue signaling. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs happening in real time. We've said it multiple times, but that's what's going on. We actually need a weapon to back ourselves up. Yes, Nasser said. Now, that alone would be awesome to prove the point of why this is happening. But let's go a little further, and I'm going to show you what the security experts are saying and then what that really implies, because this is a big deal. However, many community members and local leaders said they are worried more guns will lead to more violence. It's a defensive measure, so they're worried more guns. It's not about the offense. It's not about the infringement. It's not about the attack. It's not about the injury. No. More guns could lead to more danger, even though the entire impetus for getting these guns is a defensive purpose because the police and criminals are taking over, or police aren't doing anything and criminals are taking over. No, I can't say anything about that because after all, more guns equals more danger, completely negating the idea that the criminal themselves have guns. I can't. Anyway, let's continue. Quote, "I'm not sure having a gun is going to stop violent behavior," said Dr. Aisha Saku, founder of Street Corner Resources. "I think we're going to see, or more likely see, the gun used in a way that it should not have been. So the criminals who are causing the need for this," let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about the idea that they completely circumvented any type of federal law that was promised to do something. Didn't. State law didn't. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the idea that potentially more guns for people defending themselves could be used in the wrong way. So you're assuming negative intent on the people buying guns, and you're assuming no intent on the criminals. Speaks for itself. Anyway, let's continue. Having these bodega personnel with firearms, if something goes down in that bodega, now police have another firearm that they have to react to, security expert Manny Gomez said. And this is an important thing to understand. This is an important distinction. That statement had nothing to do with the person who's working, their safety, the assets of that business, the human resources of that business, had nothing to do with that. It was all concerned about sorting it out on the back end. Police have to worry about another gun in the equation. All the while, the police are there cleaning up the victim or the loss or writing the report for everything that was stolen and all the injury that was put forward, because the criminal who circumvented all the gun laws that are supposed to work, that are affecting the shops, that's not something we talk about. Because after all, it would make it very difficult for police officers afterwards. Tell me you want people disarmed to be victims without telling me you want them to be disarmed to be victims. You literally just said, well, if those people being victimized are going to get guns, they're probably going to be used in a bad way. And you know what? After all, if those guns are there, it's going to be harder for police when they show up eventually to write the report for everything after you've already been victimized and you've already lost everything because criminals already did what they wanted to do because police didn't do anything. In fact, they probably got released earlier and they have a high recidivism rate. But other than all of those things, you can't make this stuff up. Anyway, one more thing for you, and then we'll go about our Monday. By the way, the security expert, also a former FBI agent. Quote, people who don't have the training that law enforcement and others have, having a firearm, in comes a shoplifter, and they get into words when a shoplifter comes out with a firearm, and the situation is immediately dangerously escalated, Gomez said. Mateo, however, the said bodega employees have been trained with former law enforcement officers, so you can't have guns because you're too stupid to figure out how to train and use them appropriately and de-escalate situations. You understand, this entire thing is written in condescension and arrogance. You're an idiot. You're going to buy a gun. It's probably going to be used for crime because you're an idiot. And you know what? It's just going to make it harder for police when they get there. None of these things have anything to do with you being the victim. This is liberalism around gun control in a nutshell. Anyway, well, last thing. This is what they said right here. Quote, they're not out here to provoke any incidents. We are trained to de-escalate situations, is the bodega guy. Mateo said of the nearly 15,000 members he represents, a few hundred have already obtained their gun licenses and a dozen more are working towards their permits. So potentially 15,000 members of Bodega of United States of America, or bodega owners, whatever the organization was. The bodega shop people, they have 15,000 people that could be armed in New York City after the Bruin decision actually made it possible for them to defend themselves. But don't worry. You're either an idiot or you're not smart enough or you're going to cause more crimes or the police are going to be inconvenienced if you have a gun. So let's just not do it. Yeah. That's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I cannot wait to see you for the next segment. I'm Braden. See you there.